Hey, what's going on, everybody? I am Brian Daniels here on the domain, and I'm sure you're looking at the title of this video and wondering what in the absolute heck this has to do with gaming culture or whatever. Well, I wanted to post this video here because I have a lot more freedom and control over what content goes here since this is my YouTube channel versus what I would be posting over on Dragon Blogger. Now, for those who may not know, I write articles, I write reviews about conventions, I attend conventions, and I review them, and I review them for a site called Dragon Blogger. But I'm posting this here so that nothing, goes against Dragon Blogger. All these are my own views, etc. So, PopCon is a convention in downtown Indianapolis, and it was just this past weekend. And I will be having my own review, full review of my experience at PopCon coming out soon. But I wanted to address one thing and one thing only here in this video, and it's something that was brought up yesterday in the PopCon Indy group on Facebook, and when I saw it, it made me absolutely upset, and yet trying to do this video. I wanted to make this video and not just come out being angry, and trying to have somewhat of a sensible video about this. So first and foremost, I want to address something very quickly. I don't agree with what the gentleman dressed up as. I don't agree with him dressing up as a Nazi. I'm not a sympathizer. I don't care what anybody says. I know me. A lot of people know me. And I absolutely take a stand against that sort of thing. I don't believe in that. It makes me really angry when I see people act that way or dress that way, or even if they're just making a prank or whatever. It's not funny. And so I don't really care what you think of me personally. Maybe if you took the time to get to know me, you would know that's not who I am, but people don't do that. But I wanted to say that what happened this past weekend is there was a gentleman that came to PopCon, and he was walking around PopCon dressed as a Nazi. Now, some people are speculating, was he trying to dress up as someone from Wolfenstein? Was he trying to cosplay as one of the Nazi characters, Richthofen from Call of Duty? Those things don't matter. It doesn't matter if he was trying to cosplay as a Nazi from a video game. He was cosplaying as Nazi. That's all that matters. And that's wrong. And whether or not, no matter what his intentions were, PopCon or any sort of convention like this, that's not acceptable. This is not acceptable, period. No matter what. Just not. And I want to make it very clear that there's no excuse for that. There's none. No matter how he did it, how he got away with it, there's no excuse for that. And I want to make it very clear that I know people that work for PopCon. I know people that created PopCon, and I know that they would never want someone in their like that in their convention. Never. I have been covering this PopCon now for a very long time. I've been to every single PopCon for the past 8 years, even the virtual one last year. That's not who they are. They don't represent that. And I know a lot of you are probably wondering, well, why wouldn't they just call this guy out? Why wouldn't they just say, hey, we don't, stand for Nazis coming into her? I'll get to that. I want to say that, yes, PopCon does have some responsibility here about who they allow into their show. And I know a lot of you are probably wondering, how the hell did this person get away with being in there in the first place? They have volunteers, they have staff. Why would they allow someone to walk around like that? Well, I want to tell you this. I highly doubt they would just look at this person and allow them to do that. But I also want to tell you that this is not a large-scale convention. I wouldn't even go as far as to say maybe it's a medium-scale convention. There's thousands of attendees here. And at any convention where there's thousands of attendees, things slip through the cracks. And I know there's some of you out there that are going to say, but this is one thing that should never slip through the cracks. And I'm going to tell you that I agree with you. It shouldn't. But there's no excuse for that. What I do want to make very clear is that we need to separate from what this guy did from PopCon, because what this guy did, his actions and his intentions, does not reflect the kind of convention PopCon is. What this guy did, or whomever it was, whoever does this sort of thing, that's not PopCon's fault. PopCon is not to blame for the intentions and whether they were premeditated or not, and I'm sure they were. That's not their fault. It is PopCon's fault to filter in people that come into their show, and I'm going to get to that right now. So I was talking with my wife last night, and you guys have seen her on this channel before. We play games all the time here. So in the Indiana Convention Center, they have exhibit halls. I'm sure you're all familiar with them. And in these exhibit halls, they all have, for the most part, restrooms. And I was thinking about this last night, and I want to make this very clear. This does not excuse what this person did. There's no excuse for that. I know how some of you all are online. You're looking for every little crumb you can, try to use something I say against somebody. And you probably will. You'll probably put them in the comment section below. Whatever. But what I'm saying here does not excuse what this person did. It is very possible, and I don't know if this happened. Maybe it did. Maybe it didn't. Who really knows but this guy? Maybe this person came in wearing just normal clothes, and because everybody's able to walk around freely with backpacks and bags of all shapes and sizes, and they don't have bag check. And I will say that as a convention reviewer who's done this now for several years, I've always thought it's a little odd that they don't do a bag check. I mean, if you can go to a sporting event that has thousands upon thousands of people, and they can do a bag check there, I don't see why they can't do this at a convention. Any convention, not just PopCon. But they don't do bag checks. They don't check your bags. They check for fake weapons. They check the weapons to make sure they're not real or whatever, but they don't check bags. That, I think, needs to change. That I do think needs to change. But I will say that it is very easy for someone to walk into the Indiana Convention Center wearing normal attire, having a backpack, have their badge, wave it to the badge check people that are right by the vendor hall, walk in, turn to their left, which is where at this convention the restrooms were in the vendor hall, walk into the restrooms in the vendor hall, change clothes and dress up as a Nazi or whatever else, come out and walk around freely. Now, the pictures I have seen, this gentleman has Nazi attire on, but they had their armband turned out inside out to not show the swastika. Now, regardless of whether or not they had Nazi attire on or not, or they're identifiable with the thing, you would think a lot of people would look at that guy and probably identify him as a Nazi. Well, that's not always the case. There are people out there who don't know their history, and not only that, but that's the last thing you would expect anybody to do. I want to say this. I think that what needs to happen also is the areas where the restrooms are need to have some staff around them, not like guarding the doors, but to make sure that there aren't people with nefarious intentions walking into the restrooms, dressed up, looking plain clothes, and then walking out looking like something like maybe, I don't know, a Nazi. But the thing is, there's some things that need to change. I've always felt that there needs to be bag checks at conventions. Why not? As I said before, the Super Bowl has bag checks. I believe the Indy 500 they check people's purses and things. I mean, if you can do that on those particular events and that are way more grander scale than something like PopCon, then you can do it at PopCon. There really is no excuses for that. Now, I do understand that PopCon has volunteers. Those volunteers aren't getting paid. They have staff that do get paid. But at the end of the day, I think that you could very well have a bag check area, and I believe that needs to be a thing that happens, especially after this, because if PopCon is addressing this like they said they did, then they, I believe, need to be one of the first conventions that actually do bag checks. Now, there may be conventions that have bag checks already that I might not have been to. Let me know in the comment section below if there are conventions you've attended that actually do bag checks and actually do them. But I want to say that PopCon, though, did make a statement. They released a statement, a rather vague statement, saying that they don't agree with what this person did, and they're going to learn, take this as a learning experience and move forward and make sure this doesn't happen again. Now, I know there are a lot of you, and I've seen in the PopCon group, say, but they didn't specifically say white supremacists and Nazis and blah, blah, blah. They didn't call them out. They didn't apologize the way I wanted them to apologize. Well, let me tell you this. There's this very good reason for that. It sucks, but there's a reason for that. It's because all of these social media apps, whether they're Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, even TikTok, etc., and even here on YouTube, if you use specific words that are trigger words like Nazi, white supremacist, etc., they get flagged. Now, I know the PopCon group has moderators within the group, but what a lot of people don't realize is not only do groups have moderators, but Facebook itself as an entity also moderates these groups. And what I would like to believe is the reason why that whomever posted in PopCon, or whoever was responsible for posting and being the PopCon Indy poster, didn't use those specific words is so that they didn't get flagged and possibly get the group banned. Now, I know you're thinking, well, who cares? What if they get banned? They should call them out. Not necessarily. Because the thing about it is it sucks that we can't call out these people by what they are, which is a Nazi, or etc. It sucks because you have to think about this as a business person. Do we really want the entire group to get banned because they called out Nazis and yet they got banned for using those words? No. And I'm not saying that we shouldn't call these groups out or these people out for what they are. We should. But you have to think about it from their side of the coin. So it sucks. I don't like it. But that's probably the reason why they said that. We have to be... I know there's a lot of people are angry, and this is spilling all over the place now. And people are saying, oh, PopCon allowed this guy to walk in. I doubt they just allowed him to walk in. I know these guys. I've known them for years. I highly doubt that they just let him walk in. And maybe there was a staff member, not a staff member, but a volunteer person that didn't catch it or didn't. I would like to give them the benefit of the doubt because I've covered this convention for years. I would rather give them the benefit of the doubt, but I think the person that we really need to be angry about is this person that cosplayed as a Nazi. Which, by the way, I did some research. I dug up some information about this person. They are actually former military, according to their profile, it says they're former military, but they may even still be active military, which makes me really sad that they would do this as someone who was a member of our U.S. military, U.S. Army. Really fucked up, in my opinion, but either way, that's what happened. I will say that this person also claims that they were cosplaying as Rick Toffin from Call of Duty. You know what? Honestly, I don't care who you're cosplaying as. I don't care what excuse you're trying to make for cosplaying as a Nazi. You're still a Nazi. A Nazi is a Nazi is a Nazi at the end of the day. And I'm probably gonna... This video might even get taken down by the end of the week because I've said the word Nazi 20 fucking times in this video. And that was my point from earlier, which is why they probably didn't use that word to begin with in their post on the PopCon Indy group. But at the end of the day, the story still stands. PopCon, you guys got to do a better job of seeing who comes in the door. And I thank you guys for putting out a statement. I'm glad you guys, at least acknowledge the issue and are going to move on. This person doing what they did, I would hope that they are banned, that you find out who did this. I know who did it. I know their name. That you guys banned them. Third, all of you guys that saw this person at a con, did you guys report this to a staff member? I know one person said that they did and that they weren't worried about it, yada yada. That's one person. I've seen countless individuals in the group say that they saw this person over the week and they took pictures. If you're taking pictures, why are you not going to a staff member and reporting this person? If you saw this person, report it. It's just like the whole cosplay is consent thing. If you see something, say something. So we as also a community need to police this as well. We need to be also reporting this because I will tell you right now, if I saw this person, which I didn't while I was there, if I saw this person, I probably would have approached this person and said something to them, and then also went to a quite a few staff people, or even contacted the people that I know and made sure this person got kicked out and removed from the convention and banned, because I would ban this person from my convention, that's just me, from the con and never being allowed to come back to this convention ever again. That's just me. But we also, as a community, have a responsibility to police this and not just take photos of this person, which I've seen 20 photos of this person. I'm not going to post a photo of this person because I don't want them getting any more attention than they deserve, because they don't deserve it, for one. But for two, we have to police this as a PopCon community and as a convention community. So if we see this person, if we see a person like this, don't just take photos and, run to social media. Run to your nearest convention volunteer or staff member and report this. That's what you need to be doing. Man, I didn't think I'd be talking about something like this on this channel, but here we are. Anyway, if you attended PopCon, let me know in the comment section below what you think about this. Please be civil. I do moderate my comments, and I'm not going to tolerate immaturity and stupidity. But please let me know what you thought about this in the comment section below. Until then, I'll see you guys.